UK, Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh was started in 1965. Ever since then, Sangh has rapidly expanded its work all over the country, mainly among youths. Today it has nearly 50 branches with average weekly attendance of nearly 1,000 youths participating in character building activities. In addition to these regular weekly meetings, the Sangh also organizes annual youth leadership training courses, which have been highly acclaimed by distinguished people from all walks of life, including members of parliament, councillors, youth officers, and trusts such as the Princess Jubilee Trust. Sangh also inspires and carries out a number of other charitable activities. One such activity is the annual Hindu Marathon, in which thousands of youths from all over the country participate to raise funds for various charities. While once again welcoming our honored guest, I now request Honorable Mrs Thatcher to kindly accept a small gift on behalf of the Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh as a gift.
Present the gift, who is our Deputy General Secretary. Second presentation is a gift of books, which are traditionally a collection of books on integral humanism, which has got all economics, politics, and others.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, first can I say what a great pleasure it is for me to be with you tonight and share this great festival of the coming of spring. We're rather lucky to live and come from countries where there are different seasons and we get different times of light and dark in the year. Not all countries have that. Some live almost on the equator, where the weather varies but little from season to season, nor the light and darkness vary scarcely at all. And I think we're lucky to have this pattern of life and to give thanks for it, because it means that with the coming of each new season, we can in a way make a fresh start. And all of us need to make a fresh start in goodness pretty regularly. Now, can I thank you for your lovely display? I know the self-discipline and training and work that has gone into it. I saw the care with which you demonstrated your physical prowess and the dancing with the ladies with this instrument that I have never seen before. I must have a go. It really is rather wonderful. Now, I see you've given me a little homework to do. It's called India's Contribution to World Thought and Culture. Well, of course, I know some of it because I have been to India and I love India. It is a beautiful... Your country had a woman prime minister before ours did. So of course it was your first, and I followed in those footsteps. And we also had here, and Mrs. Gandhi and I both attended, a festival of India, and we had a great demonstration of the culture in the Scientific Museum. Now, if you've never been to the Science Museum, please go. You'll find it totally fascinating, and there's lots of audience participation in other words, there are lots of buttons you can press and things happen which young people like. But the thing which I learned there, which was quite new to me, which I felt I should have known, because after all I was trained as a scientist and was a scientist before I went to different things, was that the mathematical naught, the naught in mathematics, naught, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, was of course invented in India. These great things which we take for granted, which enable us to do so much calculation, well, this was one of the early scientific breakthroughs, and that is one thing which I learned from the Festival of India. But as I was listening to the beautiful saying of the day, which was read out perfectly, and your songs, and listening to the speech which you made, it seemed to me that there are certain things in culture, wherever you live in the world, which are really very, very important. And the first one, which you will appreciate just as much as we do in our faith and religion, is that each person is absolutely unique in the world. Absolutely. There's not another one like you anywhere. And that applies to every person in this room. Each one has something that no one else has, some great gift, some combination of gifts, some signs of gentleness, some signs of energy, enterprise, dynamism. Each and every one is different. And that's something to think about, because there are rather a lot of us in the world. 6 billion, to be precise. And each one different, each own personality. And that means each one with your own contribution to give to the life of all of us. And no one else can give it except each one of you. But then we're each not only unique, each and every one is part of a family. And we have certain things in common with that family, and then the world is made up of families. So our gifts and talents, use them as we will, and let them shine, as we used to say in my religion, let each one of us shine like a pure, clear light. These things fan out from us through families, through schools, through countries, to the world. And it's really rather a remarkable world when you think of it like that. And I know how much the family life means to the religion of Hinduism, as it does to the Christian religion and also the religion of Judaism. It is absolutely the fundamental unit of the world. And it is the thing in which we're brought up, in which we're sheltered, from which we take both our hope and our inspiration, and which is our refuge. So we have those things in common. The second thing that we have, I think, in common is that you inherit a great culture. Each of us does. We've come a little bit later in the world than our forebears, and they built up a great culture and a great religion for us. And we must not just simply take it as it is and just say, well, we take it and there it is. We must do a lot more than that. Because someone else built up this great culture for us, built up our great prosperity through both adversity and through times of fortune, as our saying said. We have to take this culture and what it teaches us and add our little bit to it, add our example to it, so that as it goes on to the next generation, they will have learned even more good things, even more example of the goodness of this religion, and even more to hand on to future generations, and that will again fan out throughout the world. And the third thing that I want to say to you is this. So often we talk about, or we hear about some of the bad and evil things which go on in the world. And it's ironic really because they make more news than the good things that go on in the world. A lot more news. And we have to be very careful therefore that we don't get life out of proportion. So we don't think that those things that go wrong are typical, because I don't believe they are. They are the exception. Because throughout my life, I think what I have learned is this, that in spite of the great deal of wrongdoing, and everything, things go wrong in the best of families sometimes, in spite of things that are downright evil, the fact is there's far more goodness and generosity in the world than there is wrongdoing and evil. And we are the instruments of that goodness and generosity. And the life which I am in, which is a political life, knows that we can only go forward provided each one of us tries to live up day by day to the best in us and not to the worst. And that is really what life and politics and progress is all about. You are fortunate. You have a great religion, a great culture. And therefore you're always aware that there's something more important than life than self. And that is the way to live. And I am very happy that this evening that you've invited me to come and celebrate your great culture and your great message with you. I know that you contribute a great deal to the belief in these things in this country, and we're very grateful for the way in which you keep it alive and in which you pass it on. And in which you pass it on to your young people. Now, for me, this is quite an occasion. It's much quieter than the House of Commons. Lovelier, much more generous. And I hope that you will remember it, because I'm a great believer in the lives of young people, in building in ceremonies and occasions which they will remember as they go over. So perhaps I'll see you again at some such occasion on another time, maybe celebrating the same festival, maybe one of the others, because there are many. Thank you very much. Yes, I've done the Festival of Light. Many times, and again, it is lovely. Thank you, congratulations. Have a lovely evening. Thank you for the beautiful gifts, which will be forever a memory of this occasion.
I'll request Shri Ghanshyam Master, who is our local General Secretary for Finchley, to give a vote of thanks. Shri Ghanshyam.
Right Honourable Prime Minister, worthy office bearers, respected parents, and my dear brothers and sisters. It gives me a great pleasure and honour to propose a vote of thanks to the Right Honourable Mrs Thatcher, the Prime Minister of our country and member of our constituency. By coming here on this Spring Festival, you have made the entire Hindu community honoured and tried. We shall cherish and remember this unique occasion for a very long time to come. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank and express our deep gratification to the police force, the press, the parents, the school administration, especially the caretaker, and all those who helped in making this program a successful one. I won't take much time. I would like to, however, thank, lastly but not the least, my good friend Mike Love, who gave his cooperation and with his help made this program a successful one. It is my wish that in future we shall all meet on a similar occasion on a national level where all our Hindu youth can take part. And I request Mike Love to make this possible.